So let's get into this. How many of you guys are excited? And as you're coming in, share with me your experiences with book calls. Share with me the struggles or the wins. I'd love to hear from you. Okay? So here is the thing. Now, I have it down here. If I flip it over, it's not going to look good, and it's probably shiny. You can't see it. But what I want you guys to do is draw out a big circle, just like this, if you guys can see it, a huge circle. Okay, and then I want you to put out 5 arrows, okay, around this circle. Okay, you're going to put out 5 arrows. Okay, and then we're going to use it clockwise. So clockwise is the most important going down to the least important. But not that they're not important. It's just where you're going to get more calls from. Okay, the more probably, did I freeze? 1 second. Okay, there you go. It's just more probable where you're going to get the most. And what I'm saying is not to do just one, implement all of them. And that's how you're going to fill your calendar and get calls. Good morning, Debbie. How are you? Great to see you here. I'm so excited. All right. So number 1, your bait post. Now, I know it's not a great name, the bait post. Okay. Okay. There's different names to these content. I call it the bait post because basically, you know, it's like fishing. You put out the rod, you put out the right bait, and the right fish comes along and bites and you pull in. I know, it's not the nicest name, but that's how it works. That's how it works, okay? Guys, I'm here to pull back the curtain. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. Those of you that work with me and know I don't sugarcoat. I just say it how it is. Maybe the way I say it hits a little bit hard, but hey, someone's got to say it. But it's not bad, guys. It's not bad. It's just to pull in your right people, okay? So you're not doing anything wrong. So maybe the way it sounds is like you're doing something wrong. But if you're catching fish, is that something wrong? No. You want to eat, and also the fish wants to provide. So there's always a win-win, right? You want to help your people. You just want to pull in the right people. The important thing is that you're doing this with intention. Guys, everything with coaching, make sure you're doing with intention and proper intention. This community that we have created is the best community for women coaches because the women here have been hand selected. I know each and every one of you, and each and every one of you are out there creating impact, true, pure impact and intention. So everything that I'm going to share here is with intention, with pure gold heart intention. Okay? We're not here to scam people, to switch, you know, and say things and then switch and do other things. This is not what we're here about. We're here to help people, okay? Now, I know the bait post, that's what it is, but you have to position yourself so that your people see you and want to be with you. That's just what it is, okay? And so, the bait post. Long story explanation short, okay? The bait post. So the number 1, that's where you're going to get the most. What is that? Once a week, at least once a week, minimum once a week, you should be sharing a resource. What's that going to look like? It's going to look like in a colored post mainly. Okay, sometimes you could do it in a longer form post, you could do it in a video, but the one that hits the most is when you do it in a colored post. Okay? And so you're sharing a free resource. You're sharing a training. You're sharing something that they're going to get excited and goes down into the comments, okay, and wants to find out more, and you share that with them. How many of you guys are using that? How many of you guys are using it? Yeah. Let me know if I'm freezing up here, guys, because I feel like on this side, it's getting a little edgy. So let me just 1 second close off. Let me just take this off and let's just minimize everything because right now I don't need anything else. I got a lot of tabs open, so probably that would help if I close this off. Okay, let me just keep the ones that I need. Okay, seems like everything is closed off but this, so let's close all this off. And maybe it'll just help. Let's just close this off. Okay, We just closed it off. Cool. Should be better. I still feel like it's lagging a little bit. All right. So your bait post, that's what you should be doing. Your free resource. Okay. And it pulls in the people the most, because they're going to put up their hands for that training. They're going to put up that hands for the free resource. They're going to put up the hands and want to know more about, and you're going to provide. You're also going to have that conversation, and it's going to become a book call, and it will. Okay, the second one, your group, your own private group should be getting heaps of calls, right? How does that work? Well, first of all, when you invite them, one of the 3 questions should be an invite to a call. It should be a free resource even there. And so, again, you're going to get on a call, or through the call itself, or through the resource that becomes a call. Okay. Number 3 on that arrow, okay, is strategic content. Strategic content. What does that mean? Well, first of all, content that you have in your profile, content that you have in your group, in your stories, in external groups. Strategic content. What is that? It's not inspirational. Inspirational does not convert. It needs to be specific. You need to first call out your person, because a you people are not a who. I always talk to woman coaches, woman coaches, woman coaches, woman coaches. If you're feeling off, listen to this post. I don't know, I feel off. Who are you talking to? So strategic content that pulls out your people and a specific topic. So women coaches, if you're not booking calls, then you want to read this, because there's 5 places that you've been ignoring, and it's probably been told to you to ignore them, but they're actually the things that work. Strategic content, it's for who and it's what. And so what happens is, whoever responds in that post, in that reel, in the stories, wherever that you place it, in your profile, in your group, in external group, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out. I'm first going to appreciate and just say, hey, thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking my book calls post. Curious. How's it going with your book calls? Curious. Would you like to know more about those 5 places? Curious. Where are you struggling yourself to know about how to get more book calls? Whatever that is, you're going to go straight on, because they know. Guys, well, one step back. Anyone that's engaging with you and you have a clear banner, a clear space, they know that you are a coach. Anyone that reaches out to you anywhere, that finds your stuff in an external group, in a store, wherever, when they hover over your name, your banner comes out in your message. Like, unless you're selling bread and then underneath it's coaching, then that's going to be an issue. But I know all of you have a proper banner, a proper message. Guys, you have to have that. They know. So, you don't need to be horsing around. Okay? All right. That's number 3, strategic content. Number 4, your lives. 1, 2, 3, 4, your lives. Yep, number 4, your lives. The lives you go in your profile, the lives you go in your group, which you guys know you should be going live with strategic. You should have a theme, like a Tuesday training, like Thriving Abroad Thursdays, like Motivational Mondays, whatever that is. Make it strategic for your niche. You should be going live once a week in your group, making it strategic. Live in your profile, live if they allow it in other groups, live in your stories. Where you can go live, go live. Now, Be careful with the lives. You don't want to go lives like 5 times in a row. You will get blocked. Know the rules, know how to play, you'll always win. Okay, guys? Who's following the FIFA World Cup? Okay? You guys know I'm crazy about soccer. All right, I love being in the soccer world. All right? Now, there's rules even to the World Cup. Even it's like the best thing that's going on right now. Okay? Love it. But there's rules. And if you don't follow the rules, you'll get what do you get if you do a foul? Yellow card. How about if you go and hit someone in the face? That's a red. Direct. You're out. Okay? How about if you make someone fall that's about to go to the net and is going to shoot a goal? And you flip them up on the floor. And guess what? If you touch the ball first and they fall, actually it's not a penalty kick. But if you hit them first and then the ball, it's penalty kick. That's a free shot. Yeah. Know the rules. Play the game. You're fine. Same thing here. Lives. Okay? I know I go into my explanation, guys. You guys do not know me. I got to explain it to you so it hits. Okay? Lives. Don't do one after the other, even if it's in different places. Don't do one here, then there, then there. Facebook knows you're going live everywhere. Okay? Rules. You'll get a red. Okay? All right. So go live in your group. Okay? You can do another live somewhere else, but just space it out. You don't have to do a live, like 5 lives a day. Space it out in the week. Make it fun. It's fun when you come in live. People love when you're live. They get the notification you're going live. It prompts them to come in. Talk about a specific topic. You're not selling. You're just talking, going down. I can go live and be like, hey, do you guys know about these 5 places to get your calendar booked out? And guess what? Most coaches ignore it because they've been told there's shinier things. That it's like the boring stuff. But they actually do work. You can do lives anywhere on that. Okay, think about you where you can talk about something, specifically one thing, and call it your person. Okay, lives. The last thing is actually your link. Your DM, not your DM link, your booking link, right? It's the last place that probably you're going to get the actual book call from. But use it because you will get a few. Okay? So have it in your abouts in your group. Drop it once in a while, maybe under a post. Maybe in your own group, drop it once in a while so they're aware where it is. Okay? And yeah, those are the 5 places. Now, here's the thing. I still use all 5 places. Yeah, because not just one is going to get you the book calls. Okay? Major part are going to be those 3 there. The other ones, it works, right? But I still use them because I get 2 calls from my lives. I still get 1 or 2 from my links that I manage around. But you're going to get most of them from these other 3 places. Together, if you think about it, if I can get 5 calls from my bait post, from the free resource, from my group, well, if you're getting 10 people in your group a week, at least 5 should be book calls. Okay? That's another 5. If you are strategic in your content, that should be at least another 5. I'm doing the minimal, guys, right? I'm doing the minimal, right? Because if you're consistent in your content and you're doing this, it should be more. But let's just say the minimal. From your lives, let's say 2. From your book calls, that go around 1 or 2. Okay, so let's say 2. So that's 5, 10, 15, 17, 19 book calls. Yeah, I didn't freeze. The internet didn't freeze. I froze. I got in shock. Natalie, great to see you here. Christy, great to see you here. Yeah, you should be. And I wrote down here in the middle of this whole circle, okay, is Follow up. Follow up. You got to be following up on all this. You got to be following up. So if you're not getting all these calls and you're doing these things, you got to look at the messaging. If the messaging isn't clicking, they're just going to pass over it. They're going to think it's spam, it's you're trying to sell, it's not working, and it doesn't move them in, right? How many of you guys moved in when you saw 5 book calls that 5 ways to get book calls that, ooh, I got to be on this live. I'm going to definitely, in the calendar, I'm going to watch the replay, whatever that is. Check your messaging. Is it talking to your person? Yeah, check your messaging. Because it might not be the actual issue of the resource, of the training. It might be the messaging. I'm going to give you an example. When I figured this out, and I started with my group with intentional questions, the third question, if you guys, when you joined, right now is a resource. Prior to that, there was another resource and there was a few calls. And it wasn't going. It wasn't going. And so the calls weren't working that well. Now, hear me out before you change anything, okay? Then I did a resource and I started to get something. I'm like, okay, not bad. Like out of 10 people, 3 were putting their hands up. Really good. I was proud of that. When I joined my elite mastermind that I'm in right now, I was really proud of it. I was getting some calls from it. They asked me a question, and it was like pass or fail kind of question. There's actually a pass or fail moment in the beginning, and I think I have a screenshot of it because I freaking failed it. They asked me, hey, how's the group going? And you're getting the, what is it called? Yeah, great. How's that going? Yeah, 2 people. I'm like excited. They're like, failed. Here's why. Because we have to aim at least for 90%. And that's okay. The best is 100%. And so I thought that 2 was great. Really proud of myself. But I was actually keeping myself down because I was proud of that. And I was keeping at the 2. And if I would go back to my data, every month those 2. Every time there was like new members, it was 2. And I was keeping myself at that because I said, it's good. Great. 1. Number 2, I didn't push myself to see if there's anything better. So I changed the language of the message on my 3rd question. And now, 10 members, 9 will say yes. Maybe even 10 out of 10 I've gotten. But 9, like I've never gone less. Like 2 members, 2 will say yes. 2 members won't, like always. Like 99% of the time, it's a yes. I haven't touched that thing. Now, it doesn't matter if it's call or resource. You have to figure out if that's what your audience wants. My ways, I have this strategy, just little things you have to tweak to your own audience. Some of my clients don't do the resource, they do the calls, and it's fine, it works. They tested the resource. We did a smashing message. We figured out they didn't want the resource. They're good with the call. You got to test it out with your audience, what they want. Okay? So I just want to give you a little head on that. And so the messaging counts. What you're offering counts. The way you do it counts. You got to get into the mind of your people. I'm busy putting together an event. Would that be part of the bait post? Yeah, but you there's a whole other strategic thing with that, Candace, with event. You need to be at least, when's your event, by the way? You at least 15 days before, but now even 15 days is not enough, right? Like my event next week, that's short. Right? Because I talked about it last week, but I haven't been promoting it. So I'm not a good student at the moment. I'm not a good student at the moment, but yeah, you need at least 15 days, even 18. That's the first thing. And you want to be a busy restaurant. You should be talking about, yeah, you do a bait post. The bait post could be the event, maybe the topic, not the event itself. The topic, so that you down below can talk about that. Hey, I'm going to be sharing that inside the event. See? So if your goal right now is to drive more people into your event, then you would use a bait post like, hey, I'll use mine. There's 5 ways to get calls booked out in your calendar. And it's mostly the things like, you talk about that. They're like, oh, I'd be so interested. Like, where do you do that? Actually, yeah, there's, you can share maybe 2 out of the 5. I'm going to be sharing the rest of them in an event. I'm doing this event, next week. And yeah, I would love to see you there. Would you be interested so you don't miss out? There you go. Like something like, you see what I'm saying, Candace? Is that making sense? Because I don't know if you're writing back. Okay, let me know if that helps. So yeah, if you're doing an event, you can use the topic inside the bait post, and then you'd say, yeah, I'm actually going to be sharing all about it in an event that I'm doing. Instead of getting them on a call, you move them to the event, if that's your goal. Is that making sense? Yeah. 100%. Okie dokie. So good. All right, there you go. The 5 places to get calls. So you need to be asking yourself at this moment. Don't bash yourself or anything. Just ask yourself the question. It's useless that you're saying, I didn't do it right. I haven't done this. I didn't know. Drop that language. It's not useful. It's not going to get you anywhere. You need to learn how to ask yourself more constructive questions. The question you should be asking yourself is, well, first of all, have I been using this? Nope, that's fine. Can I start implementing this now? Yes, I can. Okay, how can I start implementing this? It's more of a positive, constructive instead of saying, oh my gosh, okay? You need to ask yourself more constructive questions that are going to get you moving forward, not backwards. So make sure that you ask yourself, if I'm asking myself constructive questions. Okay? That's all. Other question. I have been doing this. Why have not been getting high results? Okay, I need to go back to my messaging. I need to go see if that's exactly what they want. Okay? Let me know if this has been helpful. And also, last thing I want you to remind you guys, hey, you guys are growing your coaching business. Okay? And so, at times we forget along the way that our ideal people, unless you're in the business niche like me, they don't want to be a coach. They don't care about the business stuff. Right? So get into the mind of your person. And we don't always need to be selling in, I've got this program, I've got this, I've got that. It's just generally helping them. And so we forget that our messaging sounds like always coachy, because you're in a different stage now than you were before, than your ideal person is in. Remember that. Remember that. Yeah. All right, these Tuesday trainings have become very long, like 30 minutes long. All right, so maybe we can break down this specific training into parts. Okay? Because now what's going to happen after you get on these calls? What's going to be the intention? How do you play that out? Right? Now that you've gotten on the call, What's going to happen? Maybe we can talk about that. Okay, who's up for that? Okay, we'll keep that up in the clouds. If that's would be useful, let me know. We'll do another training on that. All right. Have yourselves a beautiful Tuesday. We are in our second week of July. So excited for this month. And I can't wait to see what unfolds for all of you in this beautiful month. And hey, if you guys have been trying to navigate this on your own, I know you guys are amazing coaches. And so you guys already know doing this on your own is not the fastest way. And probably you're not going to get the results that you want. Because you guys know that. So I want to make sure that you guys don't try to do this on your own. If you guys have been navigating the coaching space for a while and can't get it to go, and you don't have a proper guidance yet, I'm going to invite you to jump on a call. Yeah, jump on a call. And on this call is just to discover where you're at and where you're stuck. And if you want to move forward inside our Rise to Success, because I do have another 3 spots that I've opened. I've cleared the calendar to help another 3 women coaches reach their goal, to grow their coaching business to the next level. And if you've been stuck, you've been trying to navigate that on your own, and it hasn't been working, let's just get on a call. Like, no pressure. Just to understand where you're at, what those next steps will look like, and if this is the right fit, because it might not be. It just might not be. But you won't know until we have that talk. Look, at the end of the day, you always decide if it's for you, if it's not. But I highly suggest to not do this on your own. And as high-level coaches as you are, you know, doing this on your own is the longest route, and you don't really get far, right? We know that.